Hello my friends and welcome back to another video where today I am again joined by my good friend and podcast co-host Chen. Hello my friend.
Hi.
And what Chen has been doing for quite a while now, for many months, has actually been theorizing and putting together potentially a list of all of the confirmed actors for the Lord of the Rings on Prime show and seeing what codename cast role they could be playing, as we did a video on this previously, I believe in October, where we only had 15 cast members released, well 16 including Simon Morales, etc. But now, since then in December, there was another press release, so we got 20 more actors to the show. So it only makes sense that we do an updated version of that. So effectively what we're going to be doing in today's video is going through all the cast and seeing which codename role they could be playing. And where we got the codenames from is actually from Night Edge Media, who is in fact, I think they did it last year I believe, and also we're getting it from some other sites like The Observer, etc. And all links to those articles and sources will be in the description below. And also we're also going to be using, unlike last time, some just art and edits from fans, who I'll also leave to a link in the description, of some of the characters in their role in the show. For example, Morphy Clark as Galadriel. So we have those edits as well, which hopefully will make it a lot better as well. But Chen, do you think that's enough? Should we go right into it?
I would say that much of this work was assisted by a couple of other people on Reddit and Discord, which have been doing, fantastic guesswork as well. So yeah.
Shout out to
like Tia, the Thinking Fox, and White Wolf, who's done a lot of the
edits
artwork, which you see. Wonderful work, really terrific.
So yep, let's get right into it then. So as from last time, as I said earlier, we used the Night Edge Media cast descriptions, and for the first one we're going to be going for is Eldien. So it is a series regular, female, 20 to 30 and Caucasian, and the description goes is: a unique and formidable young woman required for this complex role. She'll be convincingly appearing mid-20s, etc, etc, a Shakespearean language, and classical training. An interesting thing here is that Morphy Clark is actually over 30, but that's fine anyway. So I've already given the first one away, so I can take this one away.
It's Galadriel, basically. The description is kind of Galadriel-like. The role was in, negotiations just before Morphy Clark got the part. Other actresses that have auditioned for the part look like her, kind of. So yeah, that's Galadriel, I think. And it's, according to The Observer, it's the series lead as well.
Yeah, it's good to mention that.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting whether in the show we actually see her as the main lead for the show. So yes, then moving on, we're going on to Neldor, a series regular, male, 20 to 27 and Caucasian, and it's a dramatic role for a young male actor. Needs to emanate a sense of intelligence and political savvy, but also hold his own in quiet, emotionally intimate scene work. Will often be the straight man in pairings with more outsized personalities, and will be action orientated and possesses a gravitas that belies a character who could be far older, and needs to be able to speak in rhetoric style, etc, etc, and also needs training. So Neldor, Chen.
I have a guess. It's not entirely conclusive, but I think that this might be Gil-galad. It makes sense. It's a character description similar to the one that we think is Elrond, except a bit older, and that kind of works. For Gil-galad himself, much more so than necessarily for Neldor, we have a pretty good guess, which is Augustus Prue, I think it is. For no particular reason other than the fact that he looks so much like Mark Ferguson, who played Gil-galad in the movies. Gil-galad is fleeting, like he's in a couple of shots in the movies, but that Augustus looks so much like him is, quite telling.
But I think for this one, this is more on the speculation side rather than putting more things together.
More than Eldor a bit,
Yeah.
but Augustus and Gil-galad, I think that's a good guess.
Yeah, and there'll be a comparison on screen right now showing the difference between Mark Ferguson and Augustus Prue. So yeah, look out for that
it's
one.
Very close, yeah.
And then now moving on to the next one is Brac, series regular, a bit older than the first two, 35 to 45, a rewarding role for a classically trained character actor, comfortable playing cantankerous component of a dramatic duo, that's interesting, but also performs straight drama in tearjerk and emotionally charged scenarios. Should see mid-30s to 40s with a range in dramatic parents as a best friend. So yeah, this sounds like it needs a really dynamic and talented actor, doesn't it?
Yeah, I have no idea who's playing him, but looking at auditions for Brac, which there are a couple, and we have the texts of them, it's very clear what group of characters he belongs to. He's one of the Guathurim, the kind of Dunlendings, the ancient Dunlendings of Middle-earth, the kind of natives that the Numenoreans brush against. That's very, very clear from the audition. So yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how further we'll be seeing more of those characters, especially with the dramatic duo as well. But then moving on to Tyra, 60 to 25, a singular young lady needed for this leading role, and comedic elements. The first time we've seen comedic, and as you can see on screen, it's actually already been cast as McCullough Kavanagh. So that means I think we could instead talk about which character she could be playing.
The general idea is that it's Calabrian. Certainly fits. It fits for age because she's meant to be, Galadriel's daughter, and she looks like she could be. She looks like Morfydd Clark, and she's also just right so that you can, Calabrian becomes Elrond's wife eventually. So you could do her as a romantic interest for Elrond, which we'll get to in a minute.
That'd be quite interesting.
Yeah, we have, I think, artwork of them one opposite each other. They look, they work.
Yep. Then moving on to Ira, series regular, 35 to 45, a woman maternal female actor required for this comedic / dramatic role, and a singing ability. So yeah, take this away.
It's difficult to explain, but there's an actress, Sophia Nomvete. Yeah. Her age, singing, she has singing ability in her CV. It just all kind of fits for this character. I have no idea who or what this character could be. Numenorean, another Guathuir, another Dunlending character. No idea, but I can identify, an actress that is very likely to be this role, whatever that role may be.
Yeah, go for it.
Like I said, it's Sophia Nomvete, isn't it?
Yeah, Nomvete. And I'll put on screen right now actually a video of her singing as well. It was so it does seem like, and she has a theatre background of her singing and stuff as well. Yeah. So it does seem like we can put two and two together, but of course we can't always. Absolutely. But it's just the closest thing we have to a character from the current cast playing this role. But yeah, moving on to the next one, we have Oren. And as you can see, he's been cast by Joseph Marley. Let's take this away, Chen.
That's Anatar, that's Sauron, basically. I know some people prefer other actors in the cast to be Sauron. I think this is almost certainly it. And it's more. It's the role that he's playing. We've been told in the press as well that his is the main antagonist role. So, yeah.
But also, just in case, I'm still going to put on screen a picture of Ismail Cruz Cordova and Maxime Baudry as Anatar, because I believe those are the two other things that have been mentioned, isn't it? The two other actors. Mm-hmm. Do you see a possibility of them at all or not?
Cruz Cordova, maybe. I have another idea of who he possibly could play. The other one, what's his name? Oh God.
Maxime.
Maxime Baudry. I don't see that going on as much too boyish.
Yeah.
For Anatar, I think.
And quite young. He's quite young to be playing, like experience-wise as well. But who knows? We can do
that as well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then moving on to the next one is Kalion, series regular, male 35 to 45, for classically trained leading man who's equal parts soldier and a lover, ruggedly handsome, brooding, Byronic hero. Physicality should be mid-30s to 40s and agelessness. So yeah, take this away. And it's all ethnicities as well.
Yeah, I don't have any real strong idea about this character. There are a couple of characters here who are kind of mysteries to us. This is certainly one of them. Some of this looks like an elf, agelessness certainly. Some of this reads like a Numenorean. Perhaps I would even hazard to say that you could see like this being a description for Minastir, future king. No idea.
But if it was Minastir, do you have an idea who could play Minastir? Because I know.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We've just mentioned his name, Ismael Cruz Cordova. He's been shooting on shoreside locations with what's his name? With the original director J.A. Bayona quite a bit.
Yeah.
Or at least he's shared photos from such locations with him,
put them on screen. Yeah.
And given our theory of who is playing his aunt, the queen, it kind of fits.
Yep.
Kind of fits. And it's also possible that some other actors are also, Minastir has a family. He begets a son eventually, somewhere during this time period. So he could have a wife, possibly the actress.
Yeah, but this is more on the speculation side again.
This is more on the speculation for sure. Yeah.
But then maybe get more concrete if you can. Is it Derrick, series regular, 30 to 40, really charismatic male actor for dramatic leading role with comedic elements. So yeah, this still needs to be cast. So who do you think this could be?
No idea actually. No idea whatsoever. That's
one
one of
seems
the
like
big mysteries.
Yeah, the least description for a character.
Yeah, some of the descriptions are also very vague.
Yeah, but luckily for the next one, Beldo, there is a lot of description. Male, early 20s, dramatic role needs to emanate a sense of intelligence and political savvy. Beldo.
It's the very same. It's the same as Neldor, except a bit younger. The description is absolutely the same.
Yeah, carbon copy.
Yeah, absolutely the same. It's a bit younger. This is Elrond. Like absolutely, this is the role that Will Poulter was originally cast in. Then he had to drop out due to scheduling
issues. Yeah.
And now it's played by Robert Aramayo. Both of them, as well as others that have auditioned for the role previously, look like Hugo Weaving as Elrond. Some of them frighteningly so. So yeah, that's Elrond right there.
So yeah, I think we can put to bed that Beldo is in fact Elrond. So yeah, that's all but confirmed. And the people are talking about anagrams as well. Maybe if you take the B out, it'll be Elrond anyways. But I think if you added an N and replace the N with a B, that'd make Elrond. If you just jumble the letters together as well. But yeah, that probably means nothing. I don't know why I mentioned that. But then moving on to Asta, a series regular, female, 50 to 59, and things are still being cast as of then. Ethnicity is an ethnic role, a major role for a well-established and powerful female actor in the early 50s to 60s, a high-ranking lady. We're looking for someone with real stature here, and she is mighty but reserved, also shows grace and humour. And a series regular. So yeah, this sounds like a really important character, doesn't it?
It is, and the description I think is very clear that this is a Numenorean ruling queen. And there is a description of a queen in some of the auditions, especially for Brac. And so I think this is the Numenorean ruling queen. Makes most sense for it to be Telperion. Minastir's aunt.
Yeah.
And the age kind of works. In terms of who might be playing that role, there are two female actors it calls for a diverse woman. And there are two female actors in the cast that fit that description. Maxine Cunliffe and an Indian or Sri Lankan actress. Usita Yasandurea.
Yeah, sorry if we can't.
Mangled it. Yeah, but I mangled it. But which is ironic.
Yeah,
but
but I'll put them two on screen.
that's that's my guess for the Queen at the moment. Of the two, I would say.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to
she's
see who is actually playing that character because it seems like it has to be really, really good actress for that one. But then moving on to the next one, Loda, male, 47 to 58. That sounds really specific. And I don't know what up to 6 options mean. Do you know what that means? By any chance, is it 6 actors for the role or something?
Options?
Yeah, it says up to 6 options. So do you think that means that there are 6?
I'm told, I've looked it up. I'm told that it's to do with, in terms of, I think it should, overlap largely with seasons. So it does tell you that this character is there for the long haul.
That makes sense. So yeah, a fantastic role for a strong leading male actor in his late 40s to 50s. Loda is earthy, deep, solid, doesn't give his feelings away easily, physically strong and fit, powerful, and the appearance is Caucasian. So yeah, take this away, Ken.
No idea who it is in terms of character. We do have an idea of who's playing this role because it was said in the press when they announced the new cast members. It was also said that of them, was it that's playing Loda? Just tell you, Lloyd Owen.
Lloyd Owen.
That's what the press said, that he's playing Loda, an earthy man, which is exactly the same description as we have here.
Very interesting. Yeah, I was wondering, who he could be playing. And from the description, I think you're right. From the description, we can't really tell if it is a Numenorean, if it is an elf, etc. Yeah. But if you look from Lloyd Owen, from your initial impression, who do you think which race he could be? Could even be a dwarf.
I wouldn't say an elf because it's it's an older part, but otherwise, yeah, it could be a Numenorean, could be I suppose they're going for a slightly mixed race approach to mankind in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Because Asta is a diverse woman and Loda isn't.
Yeah.
Loda is a Caucasian, so we'll see. But I have no idea really.
But then moving on to
dwarf as well. We're forgetting dwarves. And we'll get to dwarves. I have a couple of strong ideas on dwarves as well in this, which goes beyond just the names.
Yep. And then moving on to the next one, we have Cole, series regular, male, and young athletic male in the very early 20s, and he is actually 18. He has the weight of the world on his shoulders, so must feel an old soul, troubled but charismatic. A great role. So that's quite interesting. Who do you think?
I have no idea who this character might be in terms of the cast. It's just a case of looking at the younger faces and trying to match one, and certainly the youngest face that springs to mind, or the youngest, most youthful-looking one, would be Fabian McCallum. That's a real baby's face. So that's certainly a possibility for someone who's supposed to play around 18. Very elven-looking, I must say. So it could be that this is an elf part as well.
Yeah, but of course that's still not a lot of description given to us, but it does seem like an interesting role nonetheless. But then moving on to the next one, and this does look like a big hitting one. Kari or Carrie, series regular, female, has to be diverse, a strong and independent woman, self-sufficient single mother to a teenage boy. She is beautiful, proud, clever and charming. She's also a village healer, at times gentle but at times fiery, especially when she feels wrongfully judged. She is torn between her son, her own people, and the man whom she is secretly in love on outside the village, who the rest of the community may never accept, but possibly also the only person in her world with whom she could find real and lasting happiness. Wow, that is a very big one.
That's basically a whole subplot.
Yeah.
And we have the, first of all, in terms of age and appearance, there is an actress who's a really good fit for this role in the cast. A Spartacus alum of all shows, Cynthia Ede Robinson. It just fits, like the age, the looks, everything. So that's a very strong guess in terms of who's playing it. In terms of what the character is, you can kind of gather from the description, but also certainly from the auditions, which are in the same vein as this description, that she's another Dunlending Wathurim character, Middle-earth native, who is a village healer, and she has an affair with a Numenorean soldier. The Numenorean soldier himself doesn't appear to be among these characters. He's called Everard in the audition. It could be Kiriator, the Numenorean captain later on.
Maybe.
It's a guess, but could be.
Yeah.
So yeah, Carrie is an original Middle-earth native character who's in a romance of some kind with a Numenorean soldier, and she has a son, which we'll get to soon enough.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, that does seem like it is an original character, but yeah, I think Cynthia Adai Robertson perfectly fits that role. But then moving on to another one, we have Shay, 1824 series regular, physically strong, pragmatic, clever young woman. She's studious and ambitious. She can be serious but has a quick wit and wry sense of humor. She has the ability to moderate any argument. She's a peacekeeper and the lodestone for her family. She's also deeply politically minded, which presents a particular challenge when the political leanings within her own family become increasingly divided. Yes, here is another basically subplot as well.
No idea where it fits, in the sense of I have no idea where it belongs in Numenor, in Enedwaith, in Dunland, or could be even in Moria. I have no idea. But in terms of actresses, these younger roles, the kids essentially, are easier to point out because there aren't many of them in the cast. And so the only actress within the known cast that fits this role is Megan Richards. I mean, you don't have much choice there. So that's basically the role, yeah.
Yep, so yeah, we're just moving straight on to the next one. We have Kyren, who is the son of a widower. She is a sweet, honourable kid who feels responsible for his mother. And this is an ethnic role, I believe, as well. But he's still a teenager. So yeah, take this one away.
It's the son of Kari. Seems very, very obvious. And again, in terms of kids, not many people can play that role. It's Tyra Muhafidin, the member of the cast, fits this pretty well.
Indeed, yeah, I think the character is we're on Kyren, right? Yeah, diverse male. So
Kyren,
yeah, interesting to see who that will be, and it's interesting to look at all these subplots so you can basically see from these character descriptions as well. But yeah, close.
You get a sense for the point.
But then moving on to the next one, we have Hamsom, series regular male, 44 to 50, warm, charming, weathered, kind, sad eyes, quite suffering from an ailment he has to hide from his physically demanding travelling community. So we'll get back to that travelling community bit. Pulls on a brave face in public and keeps physical suffering to himself. Charm and a twinkle, concealing his sadness that his family has to cover for him. He loves his family and his strong, practical wife. Caucasian or of mixed ethnicity. So yeah, take this one away.
I'm really proud of the detective work that we're uncovering who's playing this, because we don't have a name like specifically, but what we do, we have the auditions, and which line up with this description fairly well. And one of the people who we have his audition tape is Brian A. Wilson, an American actor who looks, his his heritage, his age, even his physical, like his height. He looks like Selene Henry.
Indeed.
So we've kind of worked backwards that Selene Henry is the one who's playing Hamsom. As to who Hamsom may be, could be again Numenorean, could be Middle-earth native character. No real idea. does have a wife. She figures in his audition quite prominently. We'll get to her soon enough.
Indeed, and I have put on screen right now the video of him. I think who was the actor you said at the start? I think who did the first one that we made sure that it could be Lenny Henry.
Yeah, Brian A. Wilson.
Yeah, I've put it on screen. I have his video up of him auditioning for the role, and then later on, that's how we were able to gather that this could be thingy as well. It could be Sir Lenny Henry. But moving on to the next one, we have Galanion. So a possibly recurring male series regular. That kind of contradicts itself, but anyways, character portrayed is in the late 40s, early 50s, a man of elegance and great gravitas, a leader of his people, wise and pragmatic to a fault. He isn't afraid to manipulate for the greater good. Looking for a classical leading man here, comfortable with classical, heightened, quasi-Shakespearean language and training, all ethnicities as well. So who could Galanion be?
Kind of in a way reads like possible Círdan, the Lord of the Grey Havens. But it could also be. It's actually not a bad description of the Dwarf King during the Third in some ways, But no real idea. I've put him as Gil-galad with a question mark. This character, in terms of who's playing him, no real concrete idea right there. It's the only role that's series regular or possibly recurring.
Yeah, that's what I didn't get.
Yeah.
But moving on to the next one, we have Derrick, series regular, male 35 to 50, an amazing leading role for methodical, thoughtful and immersive actor, stubborn and also sweet and innocent, enigmatic figure, and is initially curious, childlike and very out of place from his surroundings, but with a deep and primal sense of purpose that drives him underneath it all. For a physical role, for expressive non-verbal abilities are going to be required. Very dynamic as well.
Yeah. We've there's been speculation that it kind of reads like a dwarf,
True, yeah.
The actor being immersive, dwarf doesn't tend to require, the actor to suddenly be immersed in a lot of prosthetic. A lot of it, the childlike aspect of it, doesn't really fit during the Third, but it does fit. It does fit Celebrimbor's buddy, Avi, the dwarf who builds the doors of Durin. So that's a possibility there.
Yeah.
With a question mark, certainly a possibility.
Yeah, but then also we have a Cora, series regular, female, a matriarch, hopefully I said that right, under too much pressure. She sweeps away any problems under the rug. Her husband has health problems. Isn't that linked to that character earlier who had health problems?
Yeah.
So yeah, take this
It's
one.
the wife of Hamsun.
Yeah, Hamsun, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, take it away, Ken.
So it's Cora is obviously Hamsun's wife. That's absolutely crystal clear from the descriptions. I also think that she could be Shay's mother. So that's a possibility because they have a daughter. But Cora is, and you think, okay, so presumably Sir Lenny Henry or Dr. Lenny Henry, I have no idea which title gets precedent, but he's Hamsun, so you would think that Cora would be someone that would look like of a similar age and that. So I think this the one that I've had as an option for the Queen, Maxine, would be, a good Cora.
Indeed. And then finally we have Turvin, who we've known for a while now is actually, who is it, Ken?
Arvin is the one that we know for sure who he is, in terms of who's playing him, I mean. That's Simon Mireles. His agents put him as playing that role, so we know that one for sure. Yeah. And we also have a couple that we presume who they're playing outside of the context of these descriptions. I'll look at my list and see who we have, but one that I can give off the top of my head, it's pretty easily, which is Peter Mullen. I mean, you look at Peter Mullen, and especially you look at him, and especially you listen to him as well, if you know any of his parts, like in Children of Men or something like that. And he's a dwarf. I mean, he's a dwarf.
Yeah,
especially when you know that. Especially when you know that he's read for Balin. I think the filmmakers always had Ken Stott in mind, but they do let other people read, and so he's read for Balin. And I think he would be during the third. He would be quite a good Derrick, wouldn't he? So that's one that I'm pretty confident at, just as a guess. But I won't. It's a good guess.
Yeah, and of course, as you
and
can
we have
tell,
Charlie Vickers, whom people presume, based mostly on looks and age and sort of thing, that he would be Celeborn.
Oh yeah, that's a possibility. From like how that actor fits the character as well.
Yeah.
But I think one thing I want.
Yeah,
one thing I want to look at as well is that we've known for a while that Emil Child Villiers is cast thanks to Redanian intelligence, and I'm going to put her side to side right now on screen with Markella Kavanagh and Morford Clark. People have been saying that there is a really big similarities between them. Do you think we could see a young Galadriel or a young Celebrian?
I was thinking about both options. Of the two, I think young Celebrian is more likely. You know, Amazon, they have to be very careful with referencing stuff that happens prior to the Second Age, and I also don't see how it would be conducive to much of anything as well. So yeah, certainly a younger version of Celebrian. She looks the part. It would help, you know, to sell this idea that Markella Kavanagh. That's the strange thing with elves, where you have a 30-year-old woman who's playing the mother of a person in her 20s, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to find ways to sell it visually. It's doable. Like Lee Pace is actually younger than Orlando Bloom, and he plays his father quite convincingly. It makes sense that they would flash back to a younger Celebrian and kind of sell it, you know?
But yeah. And Hen, finally, do you think since you made a video in October, we've been able to make more progress since then with this video compared to the last? Yeah. Because even if you play you're gone.
I think we have some nice detective work going on.
And I think if you compare this video to the last one, we were still on some of these. I remember, like for example, with Hamsom, Cora, etc. We weren't pretty sure who they were going to be. We were saying normally, we don't really know yet, but now we'll be able to fill in a lot more of these characters. And I've also had it confirmed by Night Edge Media that these roles that I've been showing to you on screen are actually legit, and these were from, I think, production listings as well. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that we'll be hopeful to see these how many characters and actors we actually matched correctly when the show does come out. Be interested in like 1 or 2 years come back to this video and see how much we got right. That'd be very interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. It's a nice guessing game. I like that kind of detective work. And, yeah, it's fun.
I know, but
it does illuminate things about the plot as well, because you get a sense of certain plot threads.
Yeah, some of them are very detailed indeed.
Yeah, very. Some of them not so much.
Yep. But then I would like to thank you, Hen, for all this work you've put in so far, and in order to help make this video, as he has been doing a lot of detective work over this. So thank you, my friend. And then and I'd also like to thank for all the artists, also White Wolf and Abilathitika, the Thinking Fox, are also helping Hen with this, putting this all together as well. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. But until the next video, my friends, goodbye.